Welcome to Midday Roast with Team SI. I'm Laney Berg. With me today is Whitney Burgess. Midday Roast is a chance for us here at Team SI to share what's going on in the world of data and technology with our clients and our friends online through Facebook and podcasts and things like that. Today we're talking about micromoments and specifically a couple of specific applications of micromoments. Now, we talk about micromoments a lot at Team SI. We talk about them a lot on Midday Roast. But Whitney, why don't you just give us a brief explanation of what a micromoment is and why they're important today?
So micromoments are how people are really using search engines. It's based on a moment in time that they're trying to find a solution for. And Google puts these in categories of I want to go, I want to do, I want to know, and I want to buy. And so if we think about these of when we are searching for things, we are looking for solutions to those particular kind of buckets of questions.
Definitely. And micromoments are really important from that standpoint of a mobile user. How everyone is making decisions and using their phone. And they're using their phone to ask those questions. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to know? What do you want to buy? So, and specifically in that context, it's all about me at this moment.
Yes.
You know, it's what's in it for me. And so I'm going to solve that anxiety I have with the micro moment. Now, from that standpoint, why is it important for a person online, a business online, who's trying to do business online, to think about micro moments?
A lot of times when we're thinking about it, it's like you want to be seen. So one of the first things that we have to do, and I know that we've talked about this before on this show, is for the, if I want to buy something, it's making sure that your Google listing shows up. So with correct business hours and clicks to your website and that kind of thing, you want to make sure you show up.
And that even includes I want to go. Make
Yes.
sure you have the right address. Make sure your Google My Business page is correct.
Yes.
And Google My Business is actually doing experimental type of ads right now where you don't put any search terms in there, but just by your categories and your location, they can make you can pay, of course, and they'll make your location show up automatically under certain searches, under maps, and under regular organic listings and
Yes.
SEM listings. So it's a beta opportunity. They're only showing it up in certain people's Google My Business. So if you're a business and you have access to your Google My Business platform, go look at that and see if you have the opportunity. It's a great place to be where no one else in your space is, and you can spend a little money and get a lot more attention and get people who are going or buying to come to you.
Yes, I think the other things that people are looking for is making sure that you have content that shows up. So a lot of this is based on things that will populate in the search engine. So if we're looking for information about we were just talking about wines. So maybe it's about looking for types of wines. What kind of do I like? Where can I get them? And then, because actually I was just...
Or what kind of wine tastes like butter?
Exactly.
Yes. Or is it smooth like butter? That's what we said
Yes.
earlier. Yes.
And actually like this
Not red is what we decided.
Exactly. And I actually
Maybe.
had this conversation with my mom last night. She was asking me about... she's going to trip this weekend and wanted to know a wine to take, and so then I was looking up things for her and showing her those types of things, and then she's trying to find where she can go buy them. So I mean, these are all things that are still research, and we're still asking friends, but we're looking online to see, okay, what are the best ones, and we're actually seeing an increase in 2018 of people changing from near me to what's one best for me, so really personalized searches.
Right. And so what you're saying is, as a business, rather than just selling my wine online, I create content that answers these kind of questions that people are asking that benefits them.
Yes.
And by creating that content, you're putting yourself in their search path. You're answering that micro moment question, and you're building awareness, and hopefully you're converting them into a customer.
Yes, because the goal is we're still getting them on the site. We're increasing that brand awareness, and we all know that when we get people to our website, that's with our first goal, because it's our first salesperson, right? And it's our foundation, and then after that we can start to retarget them with other types of paid media, whether it be from social media to search ads to display ads to video. Our goal is to get them to the site so that we can then nurture that lead purchasing process and increase overall conversions.
Right. Now, so what kind of content are you talking about needing to create? Or are we just going to, we said Google My Business, and definitely there's options around paid in that now, and there's options to create micro answers and offers on Google My Business. But what else outside of that are we creating to answer those questions?
Well, I think that you can do everything from Facebook Live to answer questions. Like, for example, if someone is searching for what's a micro moment,
Here we go, right here.
then we're creating content through Facebook Live, which is a different type of channel, but then that goes onto our website, it goes into podcasts, so then that content is starting to populate and starts to position us as thought leaders in the space.
Right, and we actually have a blog about what is a micro moment that'll be up there with this too. So we've got text out there.
Exactly.
Right.
So we're building there's different types of formats. So we've got a video, we've got a blog, we've got a podcast, we've got images, we've got social media posts. So we're all collectively focusing on things that people are talking about in our space, which is digital marketing.
Right.
And so we're positioning ourselves as thought leaders for that, and then able to nurture people through the process of building campaigns around micromoments.
Right. So let's take it outside of the digital marketing sphere, and let's say that we're an auto dealership, and you work with auto dealerships. So what kind of micromoment questions are auto dealerships going to answer?
Typically, auto dealers are going to look for, it might be a specific model. So it might be like a 2015 Nissan Altima for sale near me.
Right.
That's a long tail phrase. So long tail meaning more words in the search. So we've got it a little bit more specified about somebody's just decided what kind of model they're looking for. They're looking for a location to buy it, so they're further down in the funnel. So what we're looking for is, from a marketing standpoint, is that you would want your dealership to show up. You would want images to show up. You would want specials and deals to show up. And so depending on how you're targeting that phrase would help you have content that shows up for that, so you're capturing that person in that moment.
Exactly. So we've talked about a lot of different kind of micro moments. We've talked about going and doing and knowing and buying, but how do I know which micro moment is most important for my business? Or is there one?
I think that you have to have a good mix. Most importantly, I think when you're building out a strategy, it's thinking about identifying your business goals and then identifying what opportunities you're going to have and setting a priority for those. Like if I were prioritizing, I'd want to make sure that if someone wants to go, that my listings and foundation and business information is set up first. I think that's one of the most important things to have is consistency. For the things of I want to buy, I think that would probably be next, because then you're talking about products and services that you sell. And then start layering on the I want to know, which is going to be more higher level content. It might be here's our top 5 choices of wine. Here's here's our best sellers, and really focusing on the types of content that would get people more engaged, but they may not quite be in that ready to buy scenario. So really thinking about that mix, and I think you have to work it backwards from that based on your priorities and your business goals.
Definitely, and I think part of it too is looking at who your persona is. When we talked about personas, it's who your audience is and who the person who typifies your audience, and what are those kind of questions they're going to ask when they're first encountering your brand, when they're first realizing they need your product and they might not even need it, and then as they move down through the funnel through consideration and interest and then consideration, what are the questions they ask?
Yes.
So those are all the little bitty micro moments in the content that we need to create to populate and put ads. And creating content is not just organic content or social media. I really consider, paid content like a display ad, promoted post, a native advertising, or a paid pre-roll video is all those contents that answer that question. We don't just need to brand using paid media. We need to answer the questions and create content that's useful to your audience, so that advertising, instead of being that advertising fits in with the rest of the content and answers the questions, and it's not something that's interrupting your user. It's something that's engaging your user and pulling them into you.
Exactly. It goes back to things, I know that every time that you and I are together, we're talking about inbound marketing, which is creating content for people to discover on their own during the research process. It's creating content that answers questions, which is what leads to these micro moments, because search engines are people who are looking for solutions. That is what it does. And so looking then what's the right mix and the types of content that your audience is trying to buy. And that's why it's so important to know who you're actually selling to. No business is selling to everyone. And it's important that when we're developing goals that we're really thoughtful and strategic about who is the right customer fit for us.
Cool. Well, I really appreciate you joining with us today, Whitney, and I just want you to know if you're trying to figure out the right micro moment for your business or what's important or the kind of content to create, we'd love to help you with that process and have one of our account executives sit down with you and walk you through what a micro moment could look like for your business. You can contact us on social media on We Are Team SI, or you can visit our website at teamsi.com, and we'll be back with you. Thank you so much.
Bye.